Thank you to Andrew Gumpert, Chloe Gumpert, and the entire Gumpert family for being an incredible partner and helping shape this very important mission. Thank you to all of you for joining us here this evening. Thank you to our honorees, our dear, dear friends, Christy Callahan and John Glickman. And to my family that is here this evening, I'm going to give a special shout out to my sister-in-law, Marcy Orley, who came all the way, probably from London, to be here today, and my niece, Lainey Leibovitz, that came here from Chicago, just to be here with us tonight, so I appreciate that. Jason lives here. And to Zeke Borman for taking a breather for your first semester law school workload to join us this evening. I know it was a sacrifice, and I appreciate that you're here. And to my beautiful wife, Karen Hermelin, who many of you know in this room. It's been a lifetime we've had this year, and you have been by my side as we have stood by our side. And as you like to say, it's what it's all about. So, thank you. I love you. Now, regrettably, I let Karen read my speech this year, something I try to avoid at all costs, because as many know, she'll have helpful suggestions on ways to improve that. Overall, she said it was good, but dry, very serious, with absolutely no levity. And honestly, she's right. So, do you want a guy walks into a bar joke or a knock-knock joke? Knock-knock. HEPA. You know I can't tell you that. Okay. The doctor's in the room. That's how you know who got this. Over the last 20 years, we have witnessed extraordinary progress in the treatment of epilepsy, especially in children. We have learned more about epilepsy in these last 2 decades than we have the common cold. New medications, new implantable devices, surgical equipment, and as we just saw, even genetic therapies that were once unimaginable that are now transforming lives. And yet, with every scientific breakthrough, something else has quietly grown, which is an information grab. That is a critical medical knowledge that sits at the forefront of our nation's top epilepsy centers, practiced by qualified epilepsy centers, versus the more limited knowledge and resources that thousands of hospitals and clinics where patients actually receive services and care by well-meaning doctors. Now, this isn't a gap of compassion or actually effort, it's a gap of information. Medical science is moving exponentially. Since the year 2000, there are nearly 20 new drugs for the treatment of epilepsy that have been introduced. Prior to the year 2000, there were fewer than 10 genes confidently linked to epilepsy. Today, there are more than 1,500. We now have implantable and wearable devices that can help with seizure detection and prevention, and there's even been a shift in the philosophy of surgery from an option of last resort to something much earlier in the process, thanks to advancements in imaging and brain mapping technologies. So what's new and routine in a level 4 center, as Andrew was explaining, can take years and sometimes decades to reach the general practice, if at all. So one of modern medicine's greatest vulnerability isn't that we lack the breakthroughs, is that we fail to share them quickly and equitably enough. So if we allow this information gap to grow and to widen at its current pace, we risk creating 2 systems of care, one at the cutting edge and another one left behind. And there's only one solution as we see it. We need more doctors. Doctors with the kind of knowledge that yields the outcomes, and better cures like we just saw. But there's an equally troubling trend emerging, one that we call the discovery gap. Medicine, like all science, has always been the evolution of accumulative knowledge. Each generation passing along its ideas, its discoveries, its eureka moments to the next generation who poke holes in them, refine them, and then come up with ideas of their own. For centuries, this is how we have made progress at a human pace. Today, that pace has changed. Medicine now evolves through computation. Artificial intelligence, supercomputers that allow us to analyze data at speeds that would have otherwise seemed science fiction even 20 years ago. We are turning decades of learning into months. And yet, just as our ability has accelerated, our willingness to fund that learning is under threat. Deep cuts to university and federal research programs is creating a discovery gap between what we are capable of knowing and what we can afford to pursue. For much of history, modern medicine and technology has advanced in parallel, each strengthening one another. But now those lines are splitting apart. Investment in computing power is soaring while investment in medical research is stuck. And in that widening space between the potential and the practical lies a modern medicine great risk, which is unrealized possibility. We stand at a moment right now in time where our capacity to cure disease has never been greater. Yet for some reason, our commitment to discovery has never seemed more fragile. The challenge before us is not only to save lives, but it's also to safeguard against the process of learning itself. And that's the focus of our efforts. We fund education. We ensure that the pursuit of learning is a right available without threat or interruption. As Andrew said earlier, we are the safety net solution. We are the medical evergreen supporting doctors in their education endeavors so they can be part of the evolution of medicine. Every year that we stand up here, I have an opportunity to reflect on the wonders of modern medicine. And this year, I wonder what happens if we don't act. If we allow the information and the discovery gaps to widen, we risk failing the very systems that have sustained us and slowing the engine of human progress. So let now be our moment of urgency, our opportunity to make a difference before it becomes an emergency. Now, before I close, I would be remiss if I didn't pause for a minute and say that this dinner has never been about Ari or Chloe. It's not going to change their story. It's access to care for everybody's story. But as it relates to Ari's story, which is a pesky one, it's a pesky gene that he has, and being able to turn off a switch like we saw. This video, this Connor story, is remarkable. Thank you to Dr. McManus for showing me this video on her cell phone about a year ago. It's something that I can't stop thinking about. It took my breath away then, and it takes my breath away tonight. This is the tipping point of how far we have come and where this thing is heading, so we can make Connor's story our story. And finally, saving the absolute best for last, thank you to Ari Borman. Your story continues to serve as a source of inspiration. And while Ari can't stand up here and advocate for himself, I can. And what I can tell you is you can never discount the power of hope and the will to live. As many in this room know, this summer, Ari went a complex surgery to straighten out his spine that was an unfortunate side effect of a lifetime of non-mobility. It was affecting his vital organs, and it was affecting his life. The surgeries after, the 3.5 months in the hospital, it was a brutal process. And through him, we saw the fragility of life. And even in the darkest hours, he showed us the power of resiliency and purpose, and he shined a light on him that led him out of that darkness. And like Ari, we will survive this moment. Medicine and who gets it and when and how will matter again. So let this be our opportunity to show our resilience and our purpose. Let now be our time to shine our collective light, to lead us out of this darkness by supporting the young doctors eager to close the information gaps and the discovery gaps and make their own mark on modern medicine and pass their brilliance on to the next generation. We will get there. I know we will. One fellow at a time. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your years of support. Thank you for your years of friendship. We could not be here without each and every one of you. So thank you.